are cozy.
I really am. Hello, everyone.
Welcome back to the Let's Debrief podcast. I'm half of your hosts. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jenna.
Thanks for being here.
It's funny how I feel like we slowly have made an intro that we always say, like kind of the same thing every time.
Welcome back.
Literally.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say, I like how we slowly have stopped caring what we look like for the video.
We really have.
We truly have. But yeah, Cole, don't make any reels out of this episode.
Just don't ever make reels again.
We don't care about getting our name out there.
We once again are recording the morning after a slumby.
A little slumby.
And we woke up this morning for sunrise. We drove up to
A mountaintop.
A mountaintop, watched the sunrise. Now we came back. We made some coffee. We're so cozy. It's snowing outside.
The vibes are entirely up. Like so when we're recording, it's November 2nd, and Halloween was obviously a few days ago. Literally everyone woke up November 1st in Pittsburgh, but then especially in Ligonier, and there was snow on the ground, snow falling.
So much snow.
And so the mountain that we drove to the top to, it was literally just covered in snow. I was like, this is insane. I've never seen it this early, but I'm also here for it.
I love it. I feel like growing up, obviously you don't know because you're in California, but literally every single day from November 1st to March 30th was snow. It never melted. It was always a foot on the ground. There was a snow day or a 2-hour delay at least once a week. It was always snowy.
That's
and now
crazy.
it's rare that it snows.
Yeah. And
Guarantee it will go up to 70 again.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Since I've lived here, there's been very few instances where it's hunker down, you can't leave your house for a few days.
It was literally like that all the time when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
No, it's maybe happened once or twice, and I've lived here now 7 years. Maybe
yeah,
even more.
later this week it's gonna be 60 again.
Which kind of makes me sad. I'm in it now. My mindset is in it.
I really want it to be snowing from at least Thanksgiving to New Year's. Then it can become summer again.
Yeah,
That's fine.
That's what always gets me is January and February, and we've talked about too, that's when we go on trips, because it's by then you're I am so over this, I don't want to be here anymore.
Literally.
And I'm just over this weather.
Yeah, Tanner and I keep saying we have to do multiple things this year, especially because we're not going to be working.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I feel while
No,
it
I
is
won't.
right. Well, I won't. I know the boys are going to be grinding.
Truly.
More on that later.
Whenever Tanner listened to the last episode, he's like, "You can say it." I'm like, "Should we?"
You go.
Do you think Cole would be fine?
No, I think they wouldn't care.
Oh, okay.
Especially this is a few weeks out too, so they'll just
Well, it's probably going to be live by now, right?
yeah, that's true.
So our husbands are also getting into business together.
They're cooking.
They are making, would you call it a production company?
Production company, and they're calling themselves a studio, even though they don't have brick and mortar.
Yeah. So all video stuff, mostly branding,
Yeah.
bigger scale clients. So they just shot their first music video and it's done.
And it's done. They premiered it for us 10 minutes ago.
Literally.
And it's
then
so cool.
they're doing another branding one. And then I forgot to tell you there might be another branding one.
Was it Tanner might have told us of an old bride?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So if anyone out there is
in need of video production.
yes, for a company,
Yeah.
brand company.
No weddings.
If you work for someone that you contract out video, let us know. Let them know.
Support the mommies here.
Yeah.
I'm not a mommy yet.
They have
to
been
clarify.
grinding so that one day we can stay at home, which is the best.
Which
So
is
we
so
love them.
sweet. So it's been really fun. So the past 2 weeks, when we've really just been pumping out episodes because we've been together all the time since they have to be together. And so it's just been really fun. Me and Jen will hang out with Monty. They go do their thing, and then we all come together in the evening, and it's very sweet.
Yeah,
our little
it's great.
family.
It's so fun. It's so funny. Like, if we ever get in a fight, like couple to couple, like our lives will all be destroyed.
I know, I'm terrified.
Because we're too intertwined.
We are so intertwined at this point.
I don't think we've ever gotten in a fight, though.
No.
I mean, I'm always mad at you.
I mean, I'm pissed off 24/7, but I've never said it to your face. Because I just got to keep the streak going.
Gotta keep the business alive.
Yeah, truly. Yeah, no. And I mean, I was like, again, like if I were to ever like get frustrated, like I know I could just be like, hey, I hurt my feelings when you said that. And you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Also, I feel like we would like say that like we were arguing about something. You'd just be like, no, Jenna. And I'd be like, yeah. And you'd be like, I don't agree with that. And I'd be like, that's fine.
And we'd just
that
be
would
like,
our
okay.
argument.
So true.
Me and Madison have never gotten in a fight either.
Which is crazy because you guys have been friends for like, how old are you? Like 15,
Yeah,
12
long
years?
time.
Something like that. That is actually really crazy.
Yeah, it is really crazy. But she did confess to me recently that there was something that I did that made her mad.
Do you feel like that is a true, like not calling out Madison specifically, I think we love you, but like, do you feel like, well, I don't even know where I was going to go with that. Like you would rather someone hold it in than like and be like, oh, let me sit on this than have like a fight over it?
I feel like I'll just say the thing that I did because it's like,
I can't even, I feel like I definitely remember.
So she just said recently, because we were talking about how we never had a fight. She's like, I will say I was a little upset that you were drunk for your wedding speech at my wedding because I was the maid of honor. Which the reason that like I am glad she didn't say it in the moment is because I was really embarrassed that I was drunk. Like I didn't mean to get that drunk. I was just so nervous. And
I was gonna
so
say,
at
like,
cocktail hour, I was just like drinking a bunch. And then like it felt like it just happened. I just like heard them calling my name. And I was like, here I go.
No.
And like, I don't know, like my close friends could definitely tell that I was drunk, but I don't
You
think
didn't slur your words or like anything. Like you were just more like loose.
Yes.
Which was
and
like what you wanted.
yeah, but also not what I wanted, which is why for your wedding, I was like, I'm just reading it off the thing. Like,
You were also pregnant, so you weren't going to get drunk.
yes.
But
But
yeah.
I was just like, I'm just reading off the thing because I was so nervous. But anyways, she told me that. And I was like, I was so embarrassed that I was too, that like, I'm glad she didn't say it in the moment because I would have been
stung.
like, oh, I also am like, I remember just replaying it in my mind like for weeks after, just like, what was I doing fully? Like, was I normal? I can't tell. Like, was I embarrassing? So anyways, I was like,
Did
glad.
anyone tell you were embarrassing?
No.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I thought you were like light and funny. I remember like the one joke you poked at her dad, like about like the schools coming together and everything.
Yeah.
You're like, if it never would have happened, I would
Yeah.
have met her.
Yep.
So I thought that was
I
good.
thought it was fine, but like my close friends could tell that I was like a little drunk. But that's our only scuffle so far.
Only scuff.
And it was 3 years later. So
Yeah.
I
How much is she holding in?
she's like, and
And now while we're at it, she's listening to this, like yelling at the car and just being like, I'm not upset.
she's such like a peacekeeper.
Yes, 1,000%. A
Yeah.
little sweetheart.
Yeah.
Anyways.
You got anything going on?
I mean, we
excitingly?
recorded earlier this week, so I'm trying to think of any other like life updates.
Well, how was Cole's birthday?
Oh, yeah. It was very sweet. Cole turned 24 on Halloween. Our old man, which is actually so crazy. This was now let's see, 21, 22, 20. This is the fourth birthday that we've spent together.
Really?
Which isn't that, well, here's the kicker, is that on his 21st birthday, he came over to your guys' house and we did a little.
We played body.
Yeah. But his ex-girlfriend was there. So Cole and I were definitely not together. But we were like, oh, technically,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is
I
4
was
birthdays
like, wait,
together.
there's no way that adds up.
No. But so yeah, it was very sweet. Woke up and had some cinnamon rolls. Are like cinnamon rolls like a birthday tradition for you guys too? I just feel like every household, like whenever it's like Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthdays, it's like cinnamon rolls.
I do it for Christmas, but I don't do it for birthdays.
Oh, okay. I really, really, really want to homemade. I did homemade cinnamon rolls last Thanksgiving for my sourdough starter, and I'm trying to remember how they were actually pretty good, but I really like want to do them again.
I don't know if I shared this on the podcast. I did like the TikTok cinnamon rolls. It's like you just buy store-bought cinnamon rolls, but then you put them in like the pan with like heavy cream and butter.
I'm scared of that.
Oh, do not be.
Oh,
It was
okay.
amazing.
It sounds like diabetes.
Could be. They like absorbed all the heavy cream and they were like so moist and delicious. It was amazing.
That does sound really good.
Yeah. So,
Are you like do you get like the jumbo cinnamon rolls? Those are like the best ones, like the jumbo Pillsbury.
I don't know. I feel like in years past I've gotten like some dumb organic one. But
The Annie's ones, I feel like I've gotten like those are like organic
I've
ones.
gotten
Those are
those.
good.
for this one I got Pillsbury, but they were smaller for the heavy cream.
Yeah.
I made it a few weeks ago because Tanner and his guy friends were going golfing, so I made them
So
breakfast
cute.
beforehand.
So send them on their way.
Yep, sent them with a full bellies. Hit their little balls.
Hit their little balls. I know Cole's sad that golfing is like definitely over now.
I know.
But we go to Florida in a few weeks, so I'm like, yeah, I'll be fine.
He could take his clubs down there. There's
Well,
really
my dad has his clubs down there.
Oh, is he gonna golf?
Yeah.
Oh, how fun!
I know. It's their cute little bonding thing together. It's
Oh, that's
very
really
sweet.
cute.
Anyway, so Cole's birthday, we got up and we went to thrift and antique stores. That was like what he really wanted to do. And got some, it was really, I have a video. I like mean to post it as a reel. I just haven't yet, but it was a real grandma haul of just like, I was like, this stuff lived in my great grandpa's house, like at some point, like
Yeah, for
cross
sure.
stitch and like, the wool like coasters and everything. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. So did some thrifting, antiquing, and I'm trying to think. Have you ever been to Georgie's before? Mm-hmm. It's in Shadyside. It's on a corner. It's literally called like Georgie's Corner Cafe, and it is so cute. It gives Europe vibes, like Europe, like and New York vibes. But it's like right on Walnut Street, like before you get to like main Walnut Street. And I went there with lunch for Heather last week. And she was like, oh my gosh, like this place is so cute. And their stuff is so good. They have a prosciutto, brie, and like
My favorite
fig,
combo.
like jam sandwich. Oh, it's like on a French baguette. So good. And then they have
Brie
like
is the
pastries
best
and everything.
cheese ever made.
I bought all the ingredients to make it at home because I was like, oh, this is going to go crazy. So we went there for lunch, and I'm trying to think of like what else we did. I think honestly, like, yeah, we just kind of ate and snacked, went and picked up his free coffees like everywhere.
Oh, cute.
Kelvin does a free coffee on your birthday.
How do they know your birthday?
Well, apparently, so make sure, since your birthday's coming up, make sure you're signed up for their rewards program, because I had a friend that like posted like all of the places in Pittsburgh that you can get, which I think she listens to the podcast. Shout out to Courtney. She like put like all the places like you can get free stuff or like discounts or something on your birthday. And Kelvin was one of them. It said Kelvin free coffee. And I was like, oh, like, well, let's go. And the girl, like, Cole ordered, and he was like, also, like, it's my birthday. Like, I don't know how to show you or, like, tell you, or, like, I don't know if you need my ID. She was like, oh, you should have gotten an email about it. And he was like, oh, like, I'm not on the, like, the rewards. Like, so it's fine. Like, I'll pay for it. And she was like, oh, like, you come here all the time. Like, I'll give it to you. And so just make sure you're signed up, and you'll get your free coffee.
Well,
But
I'm
then, of
probably not
course-
going to go there on my birthday.
No,
so
you're going to
it's
drive
fine.
all the way to Pittsburgh, all the way to Kelvin.
Just to get one free drink.
One free drink.
Yeah, I never do like the free birthday stuff, because I'm always just like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to say it? Wait, can I say about, there's this cafe that we love, Bittersweet, and they do like that thing where you like write on like a piece of paper. It'll be like $5 for someone who like
Is a single mom,
or like all of these different things. And like there's some that are so specific, and we were laughing so hard being like, imagine bringing these up to the cashier. It's like $5 for someone who, I'm trying to think, like someone who stayed up all night contemplating the will to live.
Literally,
And then you literally go up
just
to the
have to
cashier,
take
you're
it.
like, hi.
Can I have my free coffee, please?
And
And
they're
they're
like-
like, oh, but like they're a Christian like little cafe, so like I genuinely wonder if like they pray over you or something.
It's really sweet. One time I was there and I had Monty. She was probably 2 or 3 months old. And there was one that said like $10 for a new mom. And I was like, I really want to
Yes.
take it because that was one that I was like, you can see that this is like true. But I just didn't end up doing it because I was like, I don't know. I just feel weird. Like
At
I feel like
Bittersweet, I'm trying to get as many dollars off as I can.
you know, I'm like, I feel like I should give it to someone who like really needs it. But
Yeah.
also I was just like,
There's always
this would be nice.
so many on there too, which is like very sweet. But
I know.
if they're so extensive, I'm just like,
There's ones that'll be like $10 for someone who's struggling with alcohol addiction or something. And it's like, that's so great. But then it's like, who's going to take that up and then be like, yep, this is me.
This
I'm
is
struggling with
me.
alcohol addiction.
yeah, you're right.
Just
I hope that their
admitting.
employees are trained to just be like, can I pray for you?
Or just
give
to
you
be
$10
like,
off.
okay.
Yeah, that's true.
And just like, don't ask questions.
Yeah, just accept the blessing.
Yeah. But then, I don't know who would like lie about that. But
Yeah. Oh,
they come in every day. They're like, now today I got a different struggle.
today I'm a war vet. Yesterday I was a single mom.
Anyways, okay. So
But yeah, I mean, it was pretty chill. Like he didn't want to like do too much. So like we came back and he made some chili and we were getting ready for trick-or-treaters. In like we haven't passed out candy in our neighborhood like ever. And obviously since his birthday's on Halloween, it's like we usually spend like the evenings passing out candy. But last year we came to Ligonier and it was really fun.
it was so fun.
It was so cute.
Maybe you'll have to do it again next year.
Yeah, we probably will. Like our like to be fair, like we wanted to see what our neighborhood was like, and I was still like nervous from the bear. So I was like, no, it's okay. But we didn't get that many kids, and so I was
That's
like,
sad.
I wonder if it was because it was cold, like. But we've heard that like my parents have passed out candy before, and they were like, yeah, no, this was like all time low. Like
Was it like too cold or something?
it was like 40 degrees outside.
Because we were in Ligonier and it was crazy. Like
Yeah.
you couldn't really walk.
Oh yeah,
There were
no.
so many kids.
It was not like that. Which like even like so it just felt like a fluke. And so like I'm not gonna completely write it off and be like, okay, we're never passing out candy here. But oh crap, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and like I'm on like the Facebook groups like for my neighborhood. And they were like, oh, like they obviously I'm not gonna say our street, but they're like, this street is like always a great spot to go. And I was like, where were all the freaking kids?
And it was your street?
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
Like how many would you say it came?
oh, like less than 20. I
Ashley.
know. Well, maybe 20 to 50. But I know, it was so
That's
sad.
crazy. I thought you were gonna be like, yeah, it was like 100 or so.
Oh no.
So like our neighborhood has like a little like building, like a community building, and there was like a Halloween party at the building
Aw, that's cute.
from 2 to 4.
Do you have like young families in your neighborhood? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then from 4 to 6 was trick or treating around the neighborhood. And we didn't go to the party or anything. But all of a sudden, like 20 kids came walking down the street in their Halloween costumes.
Aw.
And Tanner thought that like it was like just about to start going crazy, but it was just that the party ended and all the kids that were
kids
at
were
the
hitting
party then started going. But it literally looked like a parade of them coming down the street.
Aw.
And we weren't expecting it. We didn't have any candy. We were like on our way out of the house. And but we didn't realize our lights were on. So they all started coming to our door. And Tanner was literally like, I'm so sorry. He was going through all the comments. He's like, there has to be something we can give them. I'm like, Tanner, there's not.
He's like,
It's
break
okay."
up a crunch bar and just throw it at him.
I'm like, it's okay. Like, we don't have anything. He's like, we gotta find something. I can't leave them. And I'm like, it's okay.
That's so
But
sad.
there was like maybe 20 here, which that's crazy. That
Yeah,
you only
maybe
have
like
that
I would definitely say 20 to 50. I was like, maybe my estimates were off, but like it was not steady like whatsoever.
Aw,
And like there
that's
was just like
sad.
random kids every once in a while. I bought so much candy. And so I'm like, well, it's just in the basement for next year because
What
I can't
kinds
return it.
did you buy?
I got different like varieties and stuff. So like one like was like a chocolate of like Snickers and like Milky Ways and Twix and
Did you
M&Ms.
tell the kids like take many? Or you like take
Well, in
as
the
much as you
beginning, I
want?
was like just handing out one. And then when I saw it was like 7 o'clock, because it was like from 6 to 8. When it was 7 o'clock and there wasn't a ton of kids, I was like, here you go, here you go.
Because last year when we did it at Cole's parents' house, it was like we were out and we were giving one to each kid, and we had a ton of kids.
Yeah, it's crazy in Ligonier, which it's a great vibe. But yeah, we might have to come back next year.
There were some terrifying costumes.
No.
Absolutely terrifying.
Ugh.
Like, I was like, this is like, I told Tanner, because I've been a little like on the fence about like, okay, what do we like actually believe about Halloween?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like, we're not intentionally like worshiping the devil or anything like that. It's just like Monty dressed up as a penguin. It's like, okay, whatever. But then there's some Christians who will argue like, well, that even though it's not actively worshiping, like there's like
It's
whatever.
participating.
There's things about it. But we were just talking about that a lot because obviously it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I just think that they will never be allowed to do something that's like glorifying death.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I don't think I would ever let them be anything even bloody or anything. Like, they can be something funny if they want. They can be like an inanimate object. They can be like a character. But I don't think I would ever let them like be like something scary.
Which is funny. Like, I feel like that's much more of like a common thing for like boys, because I never had the desire to like be anything like
Ashley,
horrific.
when I was in 8th grade, okay, it was literally, this was genuinely the scene from Mean Girls. Okay, I go to the 8th grade Halloween dance, and all my friends are dressed in like these cute little like mini skirt, like I'm a fairy, like whatever, like at this Halloween dance. I literally came in as like a dead bride with like blood all over me. I was painted fully white. I had white mascara on. I was like, and my friend Phoebe makes fun of me constant. Every time she like finds the pictures of me dressed up as that, she's like, Jenna. Because literally I was so ugly, and all the other girls were like, hee hee.
Hee hee, we're all cutesy. And Jenna was like,
I wanted to be scary stuff sometimes.
Oh,
I also
no.
probably would never let my kids be like a witch or anything like that.
That's fair. There's the horrific year that I definitely have the photos of me like as an 80s like rocker, and I had like a guitar and then like a high like pony, but like my makeup was like, and it was the most, I was maybe like 11 or 12, and it was like the most awkward phase ever.
Do you think, me and Tanner had this discussion, do you think it's cringe when adults go hard at Halloween? Because, okay, you got a few levels. You got parents
Yeah.
who are going hard with their kids' costumes, okay? Like, it's all playing together. Then you have single adults who are going hard at their costumes. No kids are around. They're just doing that. Then you have, like, the parents who, like, their kids are dressed up as, like farm animals, and they're, like, wearing a cowboy hat. That, I'm like, that is what I will be doing.
I just can't imagine like putting so much, like, sorry to interrupt you.
No, go
I
ahead.
don't care about that much effort now.
Yeah.
I can't imagine when I'm a mom.
Yeah. I saw this one man who had no kids around him. He was fully dressed up as, I thought Tanner said it was Sting, I think. He was like a rock star or whatever.
Yeah.
He literally had like the spiked hair, like everything, all the makeup, the full outfit. He was carrying an electric guitar and he was playing it as he was walking around town, just like him and like a woman. But then I saw like this one dad who, incredible. He had 3 small children and a newborn with him. Literally.
It was just him?
The mom was not there.
Wow.
And he was fully dressed up as Blue Dog. And he had his face painted and everything. And I heard him say to his daughter, he was like, that lady really liked my costume. And the little girl goes, yeah, thanks to me for painting your face. And I'm like, that's cute.
Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, there was a Kristoff and like from Frozen, Kristoff and Anna that like came to our door, but like the little girl was Anna and then her dad was dressed up as Kristoff. And I was like, oh, my mom like called him like the wrong name. She was like, oh, Sven. And I was like, that's not Sven, that's Kristoff. And he like looked at her and he said, honey, what's my name? And she was like, you're Kristoff. And he was like, I'm Kristoff. And it was so cute that he like literally was like, and it was like a full like costume. And he was just like all right, come on, Anna, like, let's go. And I was like, that's so cute. I know that Cole will definitely be down with that, like, when we have kids. And, like, I would obviously participate, but I'm just like, I'm
It's
not,
just
like,
so much
did you
work.
see that one influencer we both follow? Did you see Estee's costume?
Yes.
That looked like so much effort.
Well, I was telling Tanner, it's such a thing in influencer culture to like do a full professional photo shoot of your Halloween costumes because like
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're making money off of that.
yeah, Tanner was like, well, it's such a good opportunity to go viral because then like other people see it and they're like, oh, I want to be that, so they save it and stuff. But literally every influencer I follow like that has kids, like it's a full photo shoot every year.
Yeah. I'm too lazy to be an influencer.
Honestly, kind of same.
Yeah.
Wait, did I tell you that I think I did. I got my first little brand partnership with the cloth diaper people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you told me that
Yeah,
last
so
time I was
everybody
here.
look out for my ads.
For my ad. Was it like paid or was it like paid in product?
Paid in product, which
Nice.
where the heck did I put it? Oh, it's over there. Yeah, so I have to shoot photos
to-
of Monty in it, but it's so cute. I'm
Yay.
excited.
Have you tried them out yet?
I have not.
Oh, okay. I'm interested to see like what the vibe is on cloth diapers.
Yeah, like if I could just guarantee that she was just gonna pee in them, I would be like all in.
I'm spooked. I'm spooked of the poop. Which
But
also,
I will
like,
say her poop now that she's leaning off the bottle is like literally
Human.
a solid turd.
Yeah.
So it's better than
human. Like it hasn't
as-
been human before.
It was dog poop. Before it was like liquid, you know.
Yeah. Ooh, newborn poop freaks me out.
I know. But literally like anyone else's babies would, but then when it's your own baby, you're like, oh, you pooped.
Oh, did you poop?
You have a little bummy.
Little bummy. She was crawling around on the floor the other day all naked before her bath.
I
and
love
I
when
was
she
like,
crawls naked.
oh my gosh, that little bum.
I love it. It's so funny.
cute. I am so sad that she is turning 1.
It's depresso.
We can't talk about it.
No. Okay. Well,
Well,
today
do you have any updates? I
Nope.
talked about Cole's birthday.
I got nothing.
Okay.
I
I got nothing.
Today, you guys wrote in, you need advice from us. You need our sage wisdom.
Come back to the mamas. We'll give you the advice.
You're always scrolling back to us.
We both need to pull it up this way.
I know. So, yeah, it's our advice column, Dear Debriefers, that we've done a few times now.
I always
And
love it.
I love it too. And some of it's
I
like,
picked the right one.
some of it is advice, and sometimes people just send us their scenarios and we will commentate on them. What?
Nothing.
Okay. I don't want to answer
The first one.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I will eventually, just maybe not first.
Okay. I'll go first.
Yeah.
I really want to write a book about my life. I was a foster kid, so I had childhood trauma, but on top of that, I dealt with horrible things within the foster home as well. I want to write a book, but I feel like I don't want to air out all of the dirty laundry and give my foster family a bad reputation. Help, what do I do? Ghostwrite. That is hard.
It's
I guess
hard
it, like-
because if you're saying that you went through terrible things with them, it's like, why not expose them?
Yeah, that's
Like, depending on what it was, like, are you still...
But also, if she did go through terrible things, like or he or she went through terrible things within the foster home, and then is let's just say for like the sake of argument that like they were abusive, I feel like that's really like noble of her to not be like, well, I just don't want to like ruin their lives now, and like be like, wait, Ashley wrote this book, but she was a foster kid to that family, so that family's abusive. Like,
Yeah, no, for sure. But it's also like, well, do you have a relationship with them? No.
yeah,
I don't know. It's
I say write the book. I say write the book, and then if anything, you could always like release it under a different name.
or just, I mean, it's so hard because it's like, I don't know the full details, but if you're like in the foster system for many years and you had different families and you maybe just changed the names of the people, maybe people wouldn't know specifically who it was. I don't know, maybe they would.
But yeah, what if you just wrote it from like a different POV? Like just wrote it as like, oh, I just wrote a book. You don't say it's like about your life. Obviously,
Yeah,
maybe if
or
people
what if
could
you
gather
wrote it, or what if you wrote it as a fiction book?
Yeah.
Like not as like a autobiography. It's like this character in the book is then going in the
experiencing
foster
these
system.
things.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
I would read that.
I would read that for sure. I mean, also, if you do like decide to release it, like, oh, this is Ashley's story, like whatever, like could be very insightful into this foster system as well. Think of the good it could do.
Absolutely. There definitely needs to be foster system reform. It's so
It is actually, it's so
sad.
crazy. I mean, just everything as a whole, foster, adoption, custody, like
It's such
the
a
whole thing
broken,
is so
broken
wild.
system. Yeah, it's so sad.
Monty just went,
My best friend Nika, she's a social worker, and it is so like, I mean, I don't know if she's like technically probably not allowed to tell people a lot of stuff. She never tells me obviously any like details of it, but she'll be like, this thing is like happening, and it's like so crazy and sad, like the stuff that happens. And she works for like a Christian adoption agency.
oh, interesting.
Yeah, like
Oof.
she is the one who does the home studies.
Oh, wow. Very interesting. Did she go to school for that? Do you have to go to school for that?
Yep.
Wow. That's really cool. That's really
I
noble.
know. I know. It's really hard though. Like there's
And you
a
don't get paid a ton of
lot-
money, do you?
No. And there's like a lot of scenarios where she's like, this, I do not know what to do. Like I do not know what is morally right. Like,
Yeah,
should
that's
I
really
place
tough.
this child here? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
That is actually extremely hard.
Okay. Next one. I'm at a pretty low point. I feel so stuck and lost. I recently moved and I'm struggling to find community.
Oh.
The worst part is that everyone back home thinks that I'm off living the life now, when really I'm miserable. I don't know what to do. It feels like my efforts to make friends and find myself aren't working.
Aw. Makes me sad.
That sucks. I know this feeling. not from my life now. I do have still I don't have a ton of friends out here, but I feel like whenever Tanner and I don't know if I've ever told the story about us moving to Hawaii after college, but it was like we moved there
That's
for
actually a good
a job
example.
for like a while. And like, of course, you think like, oh my God, I'm moving to Hawaii. It's like so glamorous. It's going to be so perfect.
Were you planning to stay there just like that summer? Or was it like, oh, we'll go as long as we can?
No, we were going to stay there just that summer. And then we were like, well, then like, we'll see if we want to move there.
Okay.
And it was like, so like, you know, in your mind, it's like, oh my God, I'm 19 or 20 and I'm like moving to Hawaii. Like it's so glamorous, like so whatever. And I felt so much like that where I was like, I need, like everyone needs to think that I'm like thriving. Like it
Living
would
the
be
dream.
so stupid if we came here and I wasn't thriving. I mean, it's Hawaii, like whatever. But it was just honestly miserable, and we just called our friends every single day. And I mean, obviously we had great experiences, and like
Definitely like a formative time for you as a couple. But like,
yes.
Also like, yeah, were you going to go out and make friends when you're like, I'm leaving at the end of the summer?
Yes, and also we didn't have a car, so that was like a big thing with it. But we were like, obviously we did fun stuff. We did fun hikes. Like, we love the island. It was really like, it's such a beautiful place, but it really just showed us like what actually matters is who we're around.
Yeah.
And like, of course, Hawaii's better than Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But like,
no one will disagree on that.
no one will disagree, but like, we just want to come home. Like, we were looking at flights to come home early because we were just like, we need to be with our people. And so I think there's nothing wrong with like just fully acknowledging that and just being like, I want to go back home. Also, let me just be the first to advocate for moving back to your hometown is not stupid. I hate the stigma that like, that's so lame, and like people just do that, like who are just like stupid and like don't have any adventurous spirit or whatever. Like, first of all, you clearly have gone out and done things. Like, you're obviously living somewhere else. You've tried it out. If what you want to do is move back to your hometown and be with your family and friends, that is 100% fine and valid. And most people end up doing that in the end anyways, because when you have family, you need to be with your family. That is literally how we were designed to be. So don't be like ashamed and that's like this new thing in culture. It's like, I will never move back to my hometown. Here's what I did after I left my hometown. It's like, okay, if that is like, if you're thriving when you left your hometown, that's fine. But if you're not, that's also fine. And you're not lame.
Both need to be okay.
Accepted.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like definitely people look at it as like a loser thing to do. And it's like, why do you care so much? Like, if I like, but everyone's at the same time, everyone's experience is different. Like I I would move back to like to my hometown, but it's like, well, that comes with like, it's just not normal for me to like run into high school people at this point. So that would just be like jarring. But like you guys stayed so in touch with your high school friends that it's like, oh, we're just moving back to friends. Like it's not like high school people. Like these are actually people just in our lives. But yeah, it's like I feel like if I don't know, like it's the town that raised you. And so at least just have a little bit of respect.
Yeah. And just like give yourself grace. Like you don't need to be this like crazy, like I went out and did this, like boss babe. Like you can move home and be with people you love. And that's completely fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I have more like even just like even going and like living with your parents, like depending on what the dynamic is of like moving back home, if that means like moving in with your parents, like to just kind of get your footing like for a brief moment, like that. I'm an advocate for that. Like it's so, I mean, of course it's nice to like not have to pay rent and like to kind of catch a breather and like whatever, like I said, whatever your dynamic is. And so there's absolutely no shame in that. And people that do shame you in that, like have probably done it once before.
I feel like TikTok is like such a big like thing for like anti-moving back to your hometown. It's always like, here's what I can't even remember. There's like a viral one that was like, here's what happened when I finally left my hometown. Also, like just because you live in your hometown doesn't mean you can't travel and have like experiences. Like that is like such a big priority for us. Obviously, we're not just gonna like sit around all day every single day and never go like do fun different stuff.
Yeah.
But that's for anyone, no matter where you live. Like if you're stuck at an office job all day every day and then you never go do anything, you're gonna be miserable either way.
Yeah. I was also going to add, like, I mean, obviously I'm not from here, but like, I'm like, you stay in Pennsylvania because of family. And that's like a very, very valid reason. But it's like also Pennsylvania. And I don't even know if you're from Pennsylvania either, but like it is such an affordable state. Like I actually saw a TikTok from a girl the other day of like people ask me all the time why I live in Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh is such an affordable city, like just as far as cities go. And it's like Cole and I could pick up and move back to California, but we would be literally doing things in California. We would not be traveling like as much by any means. Like,
yeah,
but like Pennsylvania is just so inexpensive. And I don't know, I guess that maybe is like people, I don't know. I'm like, is that like a me thing where it's like, cause I've lived like in a more expensive state that I'm like, Pennsylvania's so cheap. And other people might be like, Pennsylvania's not that cheap.
No, it definitely is. Cause I was even showing Nika, she lives in Tennessee, like houses, and she was like, I haven't seen a house in those numbers in literally years because they are in Nashville.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I love it here. And also like specifically this area is really great. Like I understand if someone lives in like, I don't know,
like the middle of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and they're just like,
Altoona.
But also I love Harrisburg a lot.
And
really, I love
it's a great state. Like
it's beautiful.
It's got good little pockets. Like especially if you live in the Harrisburg area, you're so close to like New Jersey and New York and everything. So it's like the concept of like being close to New York. Like when I was a kid, like we did a trip to New York and like we flew a red eye from LAX like to JFK. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like New York City. So then, like when we moved here and it was like a 6-hour drive, I was like, oh my gosh, like that's insane. So it's really like, that's what I love about Pennsylvania is that it feels just like very central to like a lot of like different places where it's like, yes, like it's a 7-hour drive, but in 7 hours in California doesn't even, from where I grew up, doesn't even get you to Yosemite. Like,
yeah.
But so that's what I really like about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't really know if that answered your question. Like at the end of the day, people's opinions of you, especially if like they're like thinking that you're living the life and everything, like who cares? Like people's opinions don't like determine, well, don't let people's opinions determine your happiness and like your quality of life. If you need to go home, but also just keep things very open-handed. Like nothing is final. Like you can pick up and move to a state and be like, interesting, I hate it here.
Literally. And that's completely fine.
Yeah.
Wait, I just wanted to say this really quick because I just saw it in my Google search last night. Me and Ashley just randomly was like, you know what I can't stop thinking about?
Yeah.
How do deaf people hear their babies cry? And then I looked it up. Like she was saying like at night when they're sleeping.
Yeah,
and
I was like, if somebody's like dead
and
asleep.
they have like so many products.
Which is so cool.
Which is
I like
awesome.
the watch one the best.
Yeah, they have like a watch that will like vibrate.
Yeah.
But I wonder like what they did before that.
Genuinely.
I wonder what anyone did before
monitors.
Before anything. But yeah, before monitors, like my parents had like just the sound ones.
Yeah.
Where it would be like almost like a little walkie-talkie, and I would hear it. Like my mom, I remember, would always bring it down to the pool, and my sister would be napping. We would hear her on it. But like my mother-in-law's like, I never had one. Even my sister-in-law who has children right now is like, yeah, I never had one. I'm like, what
do you mean?
I would never hear her. Like once I get into my dead sleep, I am dead asleep.
Yeah, when I was a nanny, and when I lived with the one family, if I was in charge, the baby's monitor was sitting there because he was a floor away from me. Literally would have never heard him.
Sometimes, like, whenever I'll put her down for a nap, I'll come down to, like, start working, and I'll forget the monitor, and I like, immediately go back up and get it. I'm like, I need this.
Like, yeah, it's like definitely if she gets loud enough, you would hear her from here, but it's like,
I don't know
how long would she have to go for?
I know.
On to the next. My life is currently completely up in the air. We went into business with friends and then moved into their apartment in their home to save money and pay off debt. Stupid decision.
Oh, no.
I'm scared. Is this going to be us? We're going to move in together. They ended up lying about my husband's position in the business, and my husband put in a ton of work in under the impression that he had a good future. Our friend, the business owner, was talking bad about him behind his back the whole time, telling people my husband's position was a joke. We were making decent money, but finding out all of this and more deceit, we just decided to leave the company. We have a couple of offers for good companies, but my husband has an undeserving criminal record that makes it hard to know the right moves to make. And of course, now that we have to find a new place to live when we just moved here. Congratulations. I am also 11 weeks pregnant and we have a 1-year-old daughter. We have a damaged relationship now with those friends. Live and learn, I guess. But right now is super hard. I'm just praying that we are settled before Christmas. My heart needs that so bad. Thanks for listening.
Oh my gosh.
That's awful. I'm so sorry. What if I was like, going into business with friends is never a good idea?
I truly feel like it most of the time is a good idea.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, who else are you going to hang out with?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's the people you trust the most.
Like, you're going to start a business with a random person?
A random stranger? Yeah. I would rather it be someone that I know and trust.
Yeah.
Ugh, that is so hurtful, especially like you're just, like that betrayal is almost the worst part.
The betrayal is the worst. Like, yeah, and like the money is like one thing, but it's like to lose a friend and then like a job at the same time is just like a double hit.
Yeah. Dang. In your house. Like they're living in their house.
Yeah.
Dang.
I'm like,
I literally don't even know like what to say.
Like what type of advice.
Sucks.
I mean, clearly, like, what did she say? Like, did she say she has faith? I thought she said.
Yeah, she said praying.
Okay. Well, know that we are praying for you. Congratulations on, like I mentioned, like congratulations on your second pregnancy. That's very exciting. And I'm so sorry that this time that is supposed to be exciting and like maybe like, I mean, obviously early on, but like getting like nested and ready for a second baby is now filled with so much chaos and everything. But, and as all the cliches go, truly like the darkest and like most like hurtful things like happen like to get you ready for something else. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Like, I full-heartedly believe that, how no matter how like cheesy it sounds, because like I've experienced it so many times in my life, but it's like maybe like getting settled with that like company and like those friends like was going to be hurtful the longer that you guys were in business. And so maybe God just like rushed it out quicker. And while it feels chaotic right now, it's like, you know, it would have hurt so much more if it had, you'd been like 2-3 years into it and everything.
And it also could have been even worse. Like they could have like done even worse things, like stolen money from you, or like just worse things.
Just worse things. Yeah. But I know, like outside, I just don't want to give like out of touch like advice of just like, just hang in there.
Yeah. I mean, if this was me, like my biggest thing is that I would immediately just be like, okay, we just need to find an apartment to live in.
Yeah.
That would be my first step.
That is definitely like a great piece of advice of like, take it one step at a time. Don't look at the whole thing and be like, job, house, and new friends.
Yes.
Definitely look at house.
Yeah. I was also going to say, like, it's really nice that she said, like, he does have some other offers, which is, like, a good, at least it's not, like, and now we have no idea how he's going to get a job.
Yeah. And that's what, like, even though.
I wonder what his undeserving criminal record is.
I know. I'm just, like, wrongly accused of something, maybe.
I feel like it would be something like that you do when you're a stupid, like, 18-year-old.
Yeah. Where it's
Tanner
like,
almost had one.
almost had a record. Like a felony? Well.
Yeah.
Would it be a felony?
For trespassing. Because him and his friends were just like, I mean, they were so stupid, but they would like, they went into like this abandoned mansion
and got caught.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, they got caught. But they got it like, they basically like were like, we didn't know. And then they took it off the record. But like, he would have had a record, which is.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Isn't like.
I don't know if like. It would have been considered like a felony that he had to report to jobs.
Probably, yeah.
A little one is approaching. Yeah, like especially like that you said like you had offers on the table and everything. My piece of advice, I'm sure Jenna echoes because she said it first, but take it one step at a time. And if all else fails, like you can be a DoorDash driver, like an Uber driver. Like it's actually crazy the amount of things that you can do, like even though it's like not a lot of money, it's like there's never, I feel like, an option that like no income whatsoever.
Absolutely.
There's always ways. Get creative.
There's always ways. And if you have to move into a smaller place, slumber pod.
That's true.
I'm such an advocate for the slumber pod.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I should explain that. A slumber pod is like a little blackout tent that you put over a baby's pack and play so that it's like almost like they're in like their own little room.
It truly is like a tent.
It's literally a tent. You put it together exactly like a tent.
Yeah. And then they got a little hole that you zip them out of.
Yeah, that's what we use when we're traveling. But like if I go, like I'm going to stay at my parents this weekend, like I'll take it with me and it just works so well.
Does she sleep in the same room as you?
Yeah, when I'm there.
Okay.
Because then I don't have to bring the monitor and stuff. But like I know a lot of people who like don't have an apartment or house that's big enough for like all their kids, and they'll do the slumber pod in their room.
Yeah,
to like keep the baby. So there's an option for you. Maybe
there is an option, and I'm praying that like you look back on this time of just like, oh my gosh, like I know, like
that
even
was
like
crazy.
Kids definitely add a dynamic to it that's like much more stressful because it's like, okay, I can go without eating because we can't afford anything, but I can't like not feed my kids. But it is like, I mean, and Cole and I didn't like necessarily go through this, but like I know like you guys have said like your first year of marriage, you're like when we had like no money and you have to be so creative and
we
like
literally eat rice.
It's like it is like it can be like a really fun time of just like, yeah, you have to get creative with the way that you're going to entertain your kids and the way that you're going to have date nights and just like have like little free activities and stuff. And so I'm praying that you will look back on this season and
whenever
just see how creative you guys were.
Whenever I get worried about money stuff, I always think about like how literally all of our parents and like anyone in the older generation was always like, yep, so we had 3 kids running around. We were in a 1-bedroom house. All the kids slept on the floor in the bedroom with us, and we didn't know where our next meal was coming from.
But the Lord provided.
Not to that extent, but like so many of like our parents' generation, like that's
not to call out my grandma, but this is like one of those examples. Like she apparently, like back in the day, McDonald's would do like, I don't know the exact like price or whatever, but it was something crazy like 10-cent like Big Macs or something like that. And it was like only on Tuesdays. And so she would go and get, this is so gross, but it's like, it's what they needed to do, like to afford meals. She would go and like buy like 20 Big Macs and then put them in like the freezer. Yeah. And it was like, you're hungry, defrost a Big Mac.
I have heard so many people tell stories like that.
Yeah.
I've heard people tell stories that like the dad was out working, the mom would put the kids in their snowsuits and turn the heat and lights off all day. Then when the dad would come home, the mom would like turn it back on and be like, we're good, don't worry, like everything's fine. Like, but like those type of stories, I just imagine you telling that then later when you're older, like, yeah, like we had you and we had one on the way and like we didn't know we were going to live and like it was just crazy. And it's like, you will tell that. You will look back on it. Yes, because
you will survive. Like the human body and just human instincts are crazy.
Yes. Everything will be fine. But in the moment, I would be panicking too. So yeah, you're totally fine. It do be
stressful.
Okay, I'm going to read the one to me now.
Oh, okay.
I recently switched from hospital to doing a home birth a little over halfway through my pregnancy. Jenna, what advice would you give someone prepping for this, especially as a first-time mom?
Well, have you listened to her birth episode?
Well, as most people know, I did not end up completing my birth at home, and I ended up having a very traumatic experience. So it's kind of hard for me to answer the question because I didn't have a good experience either way. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't feel like my home experience was that good or that my hospital experience was that good. The reason that my home experience wasn't good was not because the whole issue is that Monty was not in the right position. Mm-hmm. And so I was in active back labor for 50 hours and pushed for 2 hours before my midwife told me, hey, she's not in the right position, so I think maybe we should consider, well, what she said was we can either do a very dangerous procedure here or you can go to the hospital. And so I think a lot of it was on my midwife. I wish she would have been honest with me and told me that from the get-go before I got to that point where I was rushing to the hospital freaking out. So I think the number one thing I would say is like trusting your midwife, which I did trust mine, which is a hard thing. But the next thing I would say is like definitely having a doula. I did not understand before giving birth how much a doula does, but like,
because they're there for like a lot of emotional support.
I thought it was just emotional support. Okay. I thought they would just be like, okay, breathe, like you got this. My doula squoze my hips as hard as she possibly could for 60 hours while listening to me scream and like massaged my back and was there for me for every second while also pumping breast milk for her baby and literally being up all night with me 2 nights in a row, like literally up for 48 hours.
Jenna, like when she like made it to the hospital, FaceTimed me, and what was your doula's name? Emily. She was like, this is like, I don't know if you had to have had your drugs at that point, because she was like, this is Emily. We've been through everything together. I love her with my life.
She is the best person on earth. But I don't know, like I feel like when things like went bad for me was like when I lost my mental like stability with it, which was when my midwife was like, you need to go to the hospital, because obviously that made me freak out. So definitely like creating an environment where you are relaxed and comfortable, but also like truly my biggest piece of advice for birth in general is like, don't put the pressure on yourself that it has to be this way.
Yeah.
Like that was such a hard thing for me. Like, I just remember after she was born, like, and I was in the hospital, I was so ashamed of myself. And I was like, literally, like, texting, like, our families, like, do not tell anyone how I gave birth. Do not take a picture of her in the hospital. Do not speak to anyone about what happened. Because, first of all, I wanted to be able to say it myself. But second of all, I was like, I felt so ashamed that I couldn't do it at home, which, like, again, it really
wasn't
was
a
out
matter
of my
of that.
control.
Yeah.
But I was just like, if I would have had less expectation on myself and just been like, whatever happens is going to happen, it would have been so much easier for me. And I think that was like a big part of it too, like going from my house literally in the moment to the hospital, getting to the hospital. Like, I was so heartbroken that like this is the experience I was having. And so it was just like, I wish I would have been more like open about what could happen. And I wish I would have packed a hospital bag, because I did not. And it was,
Well, and you didn't pack one because you were acting in faith that everything would work out at home, and it is like a duality of it sometimes, of like a just in case, or like no, like everything's gonna work out here. And I feel like that is such a hard place to act, like place to be sometimes, of like, yeah, this is in faith, and it's like, yes, I do believe this, like I do believe I can make it through, I do believe that like I'm gonna have the birth I prayed for. But it's like, when does, like, I don't know, when do you come in and with practicality of like, okay, in the 5% chance that it doesn't, like,
Yeah.
should I be prepared?
and I just wish I would have been prepared. I don't think it would have like changed the outcome if I was meant to give birth at home, if I had the bag sitting there. You know what I mean? But I mean, everyone's birth is different. I have so many friends who've done home births and have had great experiences, even for their first babies. So, like, truly, like, you could have a 3-hour labor and push the baby out, and it would be amazing. Like,
Yeah.
truly,
There
everyone is different.
Like, I mean, as someone that hasn't given birth yet, like, there is, like, no story is alike. Absolutely
None.
not one.
Yeah.
Like,
So, yeah, just like know that like you can do it. Like, I do think I would have been able to do it at home, like if she did the procedure to me, but it was like very dangerous.
and you had someone say to you, like, after the
That they
fact,
died
that
from
their
it.
like grandchild like had died from being in that position.
Yes.
So that was, I feel like, if you needed any encouragement, like after the fact in your decision, like that was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and like I would just truly like just be open, and like I hope that you do get to have your birth at home, but I think if you really trust your midwife's like direction, like you will know like what you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold your hand, like, hold your plans very open ended. And like, this is like, and again, if you have faith, like, whatever, but like, I would say to God, like, this is the desires of my heart. But if you have different intentions, then like, I'll be prepared.
I'm literally like gonna cry. I feel like the birth was like the first like initiation into like the humbling of being a mother, of like you don't have control anymore. Like, God has control of like this child's like heart, and you need to hold it with an open hand and like allow them to be like who he created them to be, and not who you want it to be. And so like your experiences are not going to be like what you think they'll be. Your child might not be sleeping through the night at this age. Your child might not want to breastfeed. Your child might not want this exactly how you wanted it. But it's like preparing you for like when they want to go out drinking, and like you can't stop them, and like just
All of the little lessons that you
Yes.
need to let them learn.
Yes, and birth is like the beginning of it. Whether you end up doing it at home or not, like you have to let go of control.
Yeah.
And that's my best advice.
It's a beautiful thing. And we're so excited for you. And like, you'll have to write in and let us know how it goes. But
Yes. Also, I would say really quick, I don't think necessarily that like all of the courses about breathing and like this and this and this, like I wouldn't say it it really changed anything for me. I think your midwife and doula will know how to coach you in the moment, but your body just knows what to do. Like, there is no amount of like in for 5, out for 5 that is like gonna change, I don't think, personally. So I wouldn't stress too much about like, I have to do this course, I have to know how to push. Like, you know how to do it. You will do it when it's time. So just
Your body literally knows how to do it.
yeah, so just
It was made
educate
for
yourself
this.
on like your wants and your needs, and you don't need to really stress about like these techniques, I don't think, unless that makes you feel better.
Unless that makes you feel better. I might skip down to the last one.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Not really a question, but we should do a debriefs study together. I'm assuming she meant like a debriefers study together on the Bible app. Maybe even a little day retreat somewhere later on. Just a bunch of like-minded, God-loving women with it, talking about how amazing Jesus is and how he's so present in our lives. Could be a little log cabin coffee shop or coffee soup cozy vibe.
Oh,
Wowie. Should we do a little debriefers retreat? That'd be so cute.
I love doing the studies on the Bible app. I always invite my sister to do them. And whenever you do it with people, you know that
Like
you
the
give the comments at the end. And it's always so funny, like seeing what the other person writes.
I've been getting this random girl that like wanted to be my friend on the Bible app, and I was like, I don't know who you are, like whatever. But then she keeps inviting me to Bible studies, and I'm like,
It's the Lord's nudge.
I was like, I'm so sorry, I don't know who you are.
That would be really fun. I wonder what topic we could do. I did a study about gossip, and it was very convicting.
What'd you learn?
Don't do it.
Yeah, I wonder what we could talk about. I always just, my favorite thing about like getting together with like other women is being very like, it actually, I mean, there's literally a verse on it, but it's like your testimony encouraging others. And I just love like listening to like other people talk about like how God's working in their life. And I'm like, that is so cool.
I wonder if we could do that as an episode where people send
Like a
in,
testimony
their
episode?
testimony.
That would be so fun.
Cute.
I
would
love
be
that.
fun to do like for the holidays too, just like a little like.
If you're like, yeah, like as a hope, like a message to the world.
That would be
We're
so
going to
cute.
cause world peace.
We will have everyone become a believer.
That's a really cute idea. All right, Jenna's going to post it. Last one.
Here we go. I'm a fan of the show Friends, and it has gotten me through many hardships. And with Matthew Perry dying, I took the news pretty hard. I have a friend's calendar, and I have his book. I was inspired by how God carried him through his addiction, even when he may have not seen or known it. It's always sad when someone dies, but I felt like I lost a friend. Of course, I know this is all fictional and not an actual friendship, but I feel like I lost a part of my youth/young adulthood. It always made me laugh when I was going through postpartum depression and when a friend of mine died suddenly. I know that God uses ordinary, everyday people and circumstances in our lives to show us things at his perfect timing. I'm still just very sad. Am I overreacting, or am I just being human?
I think just being human for sure.
I was actually thinking about this. Like, I'm not a big, like, pop culture person.
I was going to say, do you know who Matthew Perry is?
I do. But, like, I was thinking, like, what if Steve Carell died?
I mean,
Truly.
Yeah, like, we all have besides like the miscellaneous, like the Corey Monteith and like the Angus Cloud, is that kid that died earlier this year? Like those people that are our age and like died, then it's like, oh my gosh, that's so sad. Like they died like so soon. But like Matthew Perry, it's like, it is an interesting one where it's like we have watched him like so much growing up. And even though he's not our age, it's like, in some weird way, like since he's like our parents' age, it's like, oh, like kind of like a fatherly like
yeah, well,
image.
I feel like I think about like how much I've watched The Office. Sorry if that's millennial cringe. But like I watched The Office during labor. Like I have watched it anytime I get scared at night, like whatever. And I'm just like, if Steve Carell died, I would
so
be
sad.
like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Not even like The Office is making shows anymore, but I would just be like,
I'm heartbroken.
I'm never gonna see him doing something again.
Yeah.
Even though I would, but like, I completely understand it because it's like just feel close to that person because you've watched them.
Yeah. And even like though it was like a TV personality, it's just, and especially Matthew Perry because he didn't do much. Like after Friends, it's like, you are Chandler Bing.
Yes.
And so it is just a very interesting.
How will Monica raise the twins without you?
Literally. Like it's a very interesting like vibe that I feel like only like maybe our generation and like our kids like, well, I don't know, because TV's been around for a while, but it's like that it like was their character, and like it's just very, very sad. It like the whole Matthew Perry thing like was very sad.
I think about what if Taylor Swift died?
I think about that all the time. Like I think about like if we're like 80 years old and it's like Taylor Swift has died at 99.
I think about if the lead singer of Third Eye Blind died, I would be wrecked.
But
But even TV is much more like personal,
yeah,
I guess, because you see like their mannerisms.
they're giving us a personality, and you're like,
Yeah.
this is what you're like. And
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, not really, but
I did know about his like biography, how he wrote about how he had like all of the drug addictions and stuff, and he like became a Christian through it. So
I didn't know that.
hopefully you can like find peace knowing that he is with the Lord and like that you at least have like you can still watch Friends. Like it might be sad for a little bit, but like you still have that, which is like something that most people don't have. I even think
That's
about like
so
for his
true.
family, like he can go back and watch that and like remember like how he was and like these funny moments with him and stuff. And
Yeah. Like, yeah. And then, like, that's honestly how I view the podcast sometimes. I'm like,
when
I die, like, what a gift that, like, our kids, like, will get to, like, look back on, like, these conversations and stuff. Like, like, have recordings and videos of us, like, sitting and talking to each other. It's like, obviously, we're not, like, TV personalities, but it's like, I feel like it's much more special than that because we are Ashley and Jenna.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you think, I think about this sometimes, do you think that like there will ever be a time that like you know how Vine is just gone, like, and all my Vines are gone, like
Yeah.
there's no access to them, like would there ever be a time where like our Instagrams or YouTube will get deleted? Like I don't think it will at this point,
yeah.
but I'm like thinking 50 years in the future, are my kids going to be able to go watch us on YouTube? Are they going to be able to watch like the videos that Tanner has made on his Instagram? Or like do we really truly need to back everything up?
That's a really good
Because
question.
I feel like I just rely on the internet keeping it safe.
No, that's very fair. I mean, even like we have so much stuff in like Google Drive, and like I think all of our like raw wedding videos and stuff is like in Google Drive, and I think Cole has it backed up to our hard drive.
Ours is too.
But I'm just like, eh.
Our like all of our wedding photos are on a Google Drive folder, and like there is a hard drive somewhere in a box, maybe in our shed. But I'm like,
oh god,
okay,
Yeah.
like. But I just think in my
That
mind,
is
like, well, I'll
very-
just go on Google Drive.
I mean, can people still log into their MySpaces?
I have no idea.
I have no. I never had one, so I don't know either.
But it feels like that kind of stuff was more at the beginning of the internet, and like now this stuff is pretty here to stay. Like people are making careers out of it.
Yeah. The fact, yeah, Instagram alone, I'm just like, I might have said this to you before, but I said this to Cole recently. Like, I am just dumbfounded at like how long Instagram has been around, because I remember the day so clearly that I went to school and my friends were like, I just downloaded this new app. It's called Instagram. Like you post like photos. And I was like, oh, okay. Like that's so cool. And calling my mom and be like, can I download this app, please? Like,
Yes,
and
literally.
I was literally in like 5th or 6th grade.
I know. It's so like weird to me that my Instagram was from like 9th grade until like 5 years ago. And then it just became a photography account.
Yeah.
And then like, I don't know what will come of it eventually. But I'm like, it needs to live on because
Yeah.
it has 9th grade Jenna on there.
Horrifying. Yeah. Anything else to say on the Matthew Perry thing?
Nope.
Sad.
Yeah, it is sad.
All right. Well, I think that's all we got.
Yeah. Thanks for writing into our advice column.
We should do like a birthday special like episode.
What
Which
will
I don't
we
know
talk
what-
about?
We should make everyone write in nice things about us.
More assumptions about us. They're like, you guys are so ugly.
Yeah. They're like, you
They're
guys
like,
actually are the
"Please
worst.
Put in more effort when you're recording again. We're getting sick
Like, please
of
do your makeup next time.
it. Truly.
Also, actually, it was 2 weeks ago at this point, but we didn't even address that we are shifted today because on 2 weeks ago, the episode Jenna got blinded by the sun and just came an apparition.
Literally. It wasn't the spooky episode.
No, it wasn't. But it was so funny because I literally, like, you can kind of see me and I'm just talking to this like glowing blob. So to avoid that today, that's why we shifted. But yeah, all right. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We love you so much. I feel like at this point when this comes out, like we'll be getting close to Thanksgiving. So maybe we'll do like a little thankful episode or something.
Oh, absolutely.
I love it.
That would be so cute.
All right. We love you guys. Have an amazing week and we will talk to you next week.
Bye. Bye.